All right, good morning, everybody. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and this is the advanced education you get with Bookmap, or it's free, basically. Uh, and what we're going to go through is live analysis of the order flow and where price might go next. By reading the order flow as objectively as we can using Bookmap. That's the goal here, is to give insight where price might go. So this is all based on our educational course that we have that's online. So you can learn about order flow from the course and then apply it in these live events here, or these live webinars. Okay, so we do this Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. And then we also have live trading with very specific traders and their style of trading. We have Jay Trader, a stocks trader, on Wednesday, and then Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, on Thursday. Every day as well, I will add Tom on here. We have Tom B going through the volume profile immediately following this webinar. So at 11:30 a.m. East Coast time, Tom will start streaming, and it is, again, live forward-looking analysis, looking at volume profile and the S&P E-mini futures. Okay, so it's excellent. So if you want to learn about specifics on volume profile, he's the guy to access. Okay, so this webinar will segue right into that. All right, let's go through the disclosures and then jump right into the live analysis. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in. Yesterday, we'll go over yesterday a little bit, but let's just jump right into the live analysis here and what's happening here. We have our 9:30 cash open. You can see the volume really picking up here, and you can see this kind of downtrend here, at least since the London session. You can see the liquidity picking up here just before 2 a.m. East Coast time here, and then the move down into high liquidity down here on the bid. This is, again, like insight from Bookmap here. This is where the buyers are. This is where price came down to meet the buyers. And then you can see a bounce out of that area. And then here's our cash open. More buyers trade through this liquidity here and trade back up to the top of this range here. We're going to see a stop run up there. You can see it basically all the way through here, up through this range, and then this range up here, these swings, I should say. They got them all. So it tested up here, and then it failed. Okay, so if we look at this, we can see the failure. This is actually pretty interesting move here after 9 o'clock. You can see the flip of the order book here, pretty aggressive, in fact, very aggressive flip. And this is what we look for in the flips. Here's high liquidity here. Now, in terms of this being a disruptive or prohibitive practice here, I wouldn't say so necessarily, because they pulled the liquidity here, but they stayed in the order book here. Okay, we're at the figure here at 4,100. Obviously, this is a key area, and you can see the support underneath it here, here and here, and they're staying in the order book here. They're trading. Some of it pulled, but they're trading. So we can start to understand that they're supporting the move above 4,100, and we get a higher move up about 10 points or so, and then it's been really back and forth since. As you guys can see, and then all the way back down to the swing below here into high liquidity again at the swing here and then here. Okay, and that leaves us off into the current market. All right, so again, another flip of the order book in here. So you can see this is, it's really back and forth in here today. We have high liquidity on the bid here. The sellers trade into it and through it, and then down to this 90 level, and then they trade back up into high liquidity and through it yet again, right? So we're getting kind of a battleground, or it's looking like a pretty choppy day here, is what this is setting up to be. Anyway, we're in between high liquidity between the figure here. Now we're below it, the figure, and then down here at 90. Okay, the swing low for the cash. Is it the cash session? Yeah. So that would be the swing low down here. All right, so let's take a look here. Boy, we're going to go through an exercise here. Who's in control, right? And right now, I mean, we can only look at smaller time frames to determine who's in control. And I would say sellers, and I would say from about this point onward, right here, below 96. So let's see if we can get more sellers to try to trade into 92, 91, and 90. That's what we'd be looking for, right? To test these areas down here. Now, this is the time frame we're looking at for who's in control at that point. And let's just mark it up. So from here onward, right? And we're looking for that move down into this liquidity here. So we're not looking really for much here, but let's just continue on with this who's in control exercise here, and we'll continue to go further and further out in time frames. Okay, so you can see that move played out pretty nicely. This is what we're looking for. Here's the move, and yeah, you know, it looks like it's going to test lows of the day here. There we go. All right, and yeah, I would be looking for a retest back now to where we just kind of broke from. Maybe trade into some higher liquidity down here a bit more, and then a retest back maybe to 90, maybe a little bit higher, 92 or so. So let's see if we can get that. So, you know, we're trying to determine here a couple things. From this point onward, we're looking for who's in control. They remain in control, sellers, you know, and actually firmly now, as you guys can see. That's going to be a beautiful stop run. It is, and look at the icebergs too, about 500-600 or so, 700, something like that. So we can see some larger players getting filled down here, and now we're getting our pullback. Okay, so let's see if we can get buyers back up above 87. Need to see some buyers up here, and then we can get the pullback maybe to our 92, and maybe even back to 96. Right, so outside of the range, and then looking to see if we can get back in the range. What we're looking for is the book to be stacked on the bid. We're looking for buyers here right now. If we're getting it, we're looking for the move higher up into 89, 90, and then yeah, 90. I like 92, and then this 96 area up here. Okay, so let's see. Are we getting our buyers yet? Not really. Here we go. Let's see if they can do it now. There we go. It's moving pretty quickly. That was kind of a tough read, or it was an easy read. It would be tough to kind of jump in on. Right? When you see this, we're looking for it here. We didn't see it. Here we got it. We're looking for it. Jump on, and then also, you know, look to take your profits at some of these areas of liquidity and swings. You know, something like that. Okay, so there's your 92 level that already tested, and that would be a good place to maybe consider scaling out of a position, okay? And then maybe holding more for a move back into maybe 96 now, right? Okay, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking at here on this move back into the range, was this point here, right? Sellers, buyers back up above it. Okay, the squeeze is on. You can see the stop run here already. We anticipate that stop run above this area here because this is where the sellers are. This is where they're going to be buyers. Okay. All right, sellers give it another shot down here. Okay, now they're trying to squeeze the buyers in these areas here. Now, there's a lot of stop runs in here too. So Let's see, how many is it? It's around 200. It's not that many. It's not as many as I thought. So all right. So back up above here and looking again to get buyers here now, get a second leg move here. Let's see if we can get that. They want to again see the book supporting it. They are supporting it down at 85. Here they go. Okay, now that was short-lived. Okay, we got some buyers though. Okay, I actually found more buyers here. Okay, so we need to see now. We found the buyers here. Are they buying above it? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see a bit more here. Let's see the book stacked. All right, looking for those buyers right up around 91 and not getting it. Okay, let's see if we get it on this rotation here. On the bid. Not finding buyers. All right, here we go. Looking for those buyers. They're pulling on the offer. Let's see if we can get a move through. Here we go. And let's get our move to 96, 95, or 95, let's call it. Got some sellers here, but they want to get them on the hook so they flip out just like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Still trying to look for 95 here. I really like 96, but you know, I don't see liquidity up there. It's more here at around this 95 or 94 and a half. Okay, so let's go through this control exercise again here. All right, and hold on here. Let me get into good morning, everybody. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful move up into our 96 level, basically. Okay, still finding some buyers here. Maybe we can get up to the figure here. Do you guys have any questions on this? see how we're seeing these areas tested of who's in control from what area and where they took control, and what is the pressure here in the testing? What kind of orders are taking place up here in these areas here? So are they all stops? Are they all buyers? If they're all stops, then maybe this is kind of like a, you know, empty or buying that is not, you know, it's not initiating anything. They're just exiting the market, basically. Okay. Or is it new buying and then they get on the hook? What if we get sellers below this area here at 94, right? Then we're going to look for a move right down to 91 and a stop run probably down here. Okay, so we'd be looking for that scenario here. Let's see if we get our sellers here. What about the offer? Is the offer building out? Not a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's see the sellers try to reach 91 here. Don't see it now. Not seeing it. Looking for sellers here. Not here. We see buyers here. We want to see sellers down here. Right? This is not it. Okay, let's see if we get them now. No, not yet. Looking for sellers here. 90, maybe 93 and a half or so. Here we go. This could be a nice little squeeze to the downside. It's still not getting them here. You see more buyers here, right? That's not it. Okay, and this is a kind of a counter trend trade here, but was just looking for a move down to the bottom of the range here, 91. Okay, now see these buyers on the hook. Sellers can come in. Now they can smash them back down to 91 here. Let's see if they do it. There we go. Okay, tough entry on that. That's a tough. We're looking for that to unfold. It's very hard to kind of jump in on something like that, though. I mean, you have to take the risk if you want to capture this move in particular. If you wanted to capture it, you got to take the risk without knowing, getting a confirmation here of those sellers. And that's just the way this unfolded. And this happens. Not, usually on more choppy days, you see this kind of activity. Aloha, Crypto Surfer. All right, from Kauai. Nice. Get your trading session in before your surf session. All right, buyers coming right back in. Pretty strong buying. All right, looking for 98 and the figure. I'd like to see the figure tested here. I think they got it. That's strong enough here. We're just getting kind of a bounce off of where it came from here. We're not getting, we're seeing the buying in here, but we covered this a few weeks ago where, we got to go with the order flow, but we're not having the complete picture here. We want to see the bid here support this move. If it doesn't, sellers can whip through this area right here at 95 back down to the bottom of the range, and we want to stay away from that, right? We're the read and the outlook is to the upside here. We just don't have a high probability with the book here. Now the book is starting to show a bit more. This looks better for a test into the figure, right? So see that. Are you guys seeing this? I'm really curious. Like, when we don't see it in here, we start to see it in here, and we're looking for the move. Okay, the figure already tested here. Okay, can you see that visually just how this is giving us more insight that this move is more likely to unfold? This is reading the order flow, and this is an edge, clearly. Okay, you can see it when you zoom out. It wasn't hindsight. We did it in real time here. It's not a scalp either. I mean, in this, we're scalping on this time frame, yes. But when we zoom out and we look at bigger picture stuff here, it is the same process. Okay, you're looking for support in the order book. You're looking for them to lift the offer. You're looking for those buyers to come in and to move it back up into swings, previous swings, and liquidity. Where are their sellers? The majority of the sellers. That's it. Okay, thanks, Nick. Nick, any kind of clarity you're looking for in this? Like how do you trade? Just kind of curious. What do you look for? Is it, some sort of Wyckoff distribution patterns? Is it volume profile? Is it candlestick patterns, or just traditional, patterns like head and shoulders, etc.? Yeah, McLoco, the Taiwan stuff is kind of messing with the markets. I agree. Well, we're up at a critical level technically as well, so that's going to play off of things. we talked about that yesterday. We still haven't gone through the exercise. I've been distracted here of who's in control and where. We'll go through that now, and let's look at our daily chart here on the left. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. We drew these lines in yesterday. We were actually looking for the move up into here because yesterday we had a green candle at that point. So these are strong days here. So we're looking for it to just continue on up. Now, we do anticipate some pullbacks or some back and forth in here as well. I mean, we're up here. There's going to be buyers taking profit. There's going to be sellers reloading here. We were looking for buyers to try to squeeze these sellers and get back up into these areas here. Right, so that was the scenario on the higher time frame here. On the hourly chart here in the middle, let's see here. All right, well, you can see what happened. We just tested up here. It failed and then came back down into the range here. Now, this is the regular trading session hours, so there's a gap here. And you can just see a couple hours of the regular trading right now. And look where it tested, guys, where it broke out from here. Okay, there's the test. Here's your higher time frame supply and demand, or at least understanding where there are buyers. They're telling us, they told us here, they bought. Okay, it gapped. Here's the test back to it. Profit taking, buyers coming back in to support it, whatever. Okay, so we would look for that move back up into here, okay, from here. And we want order flow to support that. All right, here's our 15-minute chart here. On the right-hand side, here's the move into it. And 15-minute chart's giving us a little more information here. You know, you can see the strong move out of this area here. And then the move back to it where we found those buyers before. And they're buying. However, let's just zoom in here. Let's look at 1 day. They're buying, but you know, you can see that the 15-minute chart here, just trying to kind of read the tea leaves in the candles here, is you know, you can see the move here to the downside. And this candle, although it closed kind of back up into the range here, there's also sellers in here. Is what the candle at least is telling us here. We got to see buyers back up above here. Okay, so back up above the figure, basically 4,100. All right. So who's in control in these moves here? Well, in the higher time frame, the sellers were in control here clearly. They're being tested, and we're seeing the kind of now it's the slowdown after this pretty strong week last week, and this wasn't that strong in here, but you can see it was a strong day to get up there, that's for sure. Hourly chart here, the strength with the buyers here again, and we saw that yesterday, these two candles, so we were looking for the continuation, and all it did was come back up, spike the top of this high here, and then back down into the range. All right, so let's see if we can get these buyers to maybe kind of ramp up and get back up to the figure here. Okay, so buyers and sellers both in control here. I mean, sellers dominate the strong move to the downside. The buying in here, just by looking at the speed or the length of these bars here, you can see that the buying is less than all of this selling in here. Okay, on the hourly chart, it's clearly buying. On the 15-minute chart here, it's well, on the day it's mostly selling here, as you can see, and yesterday. So we got to find those buyers. Maybe we can even get a gap fill back up into 117, 41.17. All right. Yeah, it kind of looks just stuck in the mud here. The big profile here, right at point of control, right at value. All right, let's see if we can get our buyers here. Okay, because we were looking for that on that 15-minute chart. Here they are. Is the bid supporting it? Yeah, they're supporting it. I'm looking for it to move then. I'm looking for the figure, and I think we got enough here to break through the figure on up to 02 and 05. So looking for that here, looking for that scenario. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is sellers come streaming in really quickly and try to get it below this 96 level here. Okay, but see them supporting it here in the book. We're finding some buyers here. So we're looking for the move up into the figure and higher. Okay, see them pull at the figure there. There's our move into the figure, still looking for higher here. Okay, this is in alignment with that 15-minute chart, guys. So still looking for the continuation. All right, let's just jump back here. So here's our move back up to it, right? So now on this 15-minute chart, at least, we'd be looking for the move back up to here, 07 or so, maybe 10. Okay, 10 is up here. 7, not much liquidity there. They're mostly up here at 5. $10 looks good for a short. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, like, again, like these wicks up here, this is where they're sellers, right? So we're looking for a move up to that area first, just to test it, right? And then we would be looking for a pullback up in these areas here as well. All right, so let's see. And there's nothing really to do here on this move. Just you're staying in it. The buying is still strong here. You're staying in it. There's nothing to do. Move your stop up to break even. It's strong buying. This is exactly what we're looking for. So 10 is more likely here. Okay, there we go. See how easy it is to go with the trend? It's just, you just kind of kick back and go with it. Look at the bid here supporting it. Now that's a stop run, so we've got to be attentive here. Because remember, the first wick was up here at 07, right? So let's just take a step back here. See? Right? We would anticipate there to be a pullback like this. Okay, but that was pretty strong buying. So I'm looking for a reattack here by those buyers back up to 07 and then 10. Now, up at 10, we anticipate again a pullback. We may not get it. We may get more buyers to blast through this area here because it already tested kind of here at 7. Right? So we're looking for them to blast maybe through this 10 level and then get a gap fill. Right? That would be a scenario here. We're going to, to go through. Okay, it's a pretty strong bar here. Boy, guys, I really hate to kind of point to these bars and go, oh, it's a really strong bar. Yeah, okay, so it looks like it here, but does it look like it here? And that's what matters. In fact, let's put on a 15-minute chart on the candlesticks, and let's take a look. All right. And let's dim the heat map a little bit here. Okay. So here's our strong candle. And does it look strong in terms of volume? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. This is pretty strong. This is pretty strong. So yeah, we would say this is pretty strong, and we're looking for initially a pullback here at that 07. As you guys can see, this swing here, it pulled back. Now we're looking for a reattack here by these buyers to come back up into 10, and they may be able. And 10 is this swing up here. Okay, so here's what we can see inside the candle. Right, we're looking at the volume within the candle. Now let's also look at the heat map within the candle. Okay, here they come on that reattack here, looking for 10. Okay, so even on this pullback here, you're still kind of just hanging out, waiting, and letting your trade develop. Okay, now this is not a recommendation or a trade calling room. Okay, these are considerations of reading the order flow and how you may consider managing this. Okay, and we just went through a candlestick analysis here from an actual candlestick chart now to looking at Bookmap and looking at the candles. Now we can see what's inside it though. Okay, we saw that there's buying pressure into this liquidity here. They went through it. We got our pullback, more buying. They're supporting it underneath here. We're looking for the continuation and up into, we already got our first wick tested. We're looking for that second wick up here at 10. And we can see sellers coming in. We did break it. We did break that wick here, but we see sellers coming in. So I want to see buyers again re-attack, remount an attack here, and I want to see them above right here, right now. Okay, I want to see the bid light up here. I want to see buyers here, and then we got a pretty nice, probably get a pretty nice move back up into 07 high and then 10. Okay, be looking for that. That would be the primary scenario. Okay, secondary scenario here. Let's see. Right in here is where we need to find our sellers for them to try to take control. All right, here they go, mounting that attack again, and nothing up there. Okay, got to see the buyers here. Lift the offer, want to see them pull this 05, want to see them add on the bid here. Nothing so far. First thing we would see is likely either exhaustion down here like this, okay, and then our buyers here. This looks good. Okay, so now let's see them attack up here, 05, right? And see they're starting to pull a little bit at 05. So looking for that attack here. Almost 05. Here they go again, one more attack. Now let's see the bid light up here. We should see the bid support this here. Be looking for it, because they're pulling here. Just we're collecting some sellers in here, and then we'd be looking to see if we can get up in here and then get these sellers in here to flip. No, we're back to this secondary scenario instead here. Okay, so look at the sellers taking control below this area here. Okay, now we can still, the order flow may flip here, right? And the flip is going to be above this 02 area here. Buyers, bid, buyers pulling on the offer. Here we go. Let's see it. Let's see it, buyers, and let's see them pull up here. I want to see that bid light up. Looking better. Looking better. Okay, they got it here. Let's see it, buyers. I think you got it now. I want to see them. They got to trade through 05 here. I want to see them trade through 05 here. The bid is still not really. There it goes. There it firms up. Okay, so there's our 05. Now we want to see it go through 05 here, of course, back up to the high and then 10. I like it. Looks good. Still looking for it. Looking for 08, 09 right now. Bid is still, look at how weak it is here though. We're still getting it. We're still looking for it, but it's just not as high probability, right? We want to see that bid really firm up here. Else you'll see sellers move it really quickly right back down. All right, some questions here in YouTube. Okay, so Nick, you're looking at, thanks for answering that. You're looking at multiple time frames, Bollinger Bands as confirmation. Okay. Derek, you're looking at your hourly cycles. Okay, scalping strategy. Looking at your 15-minute chart and heat map. Yeah, we'll go through this this exercise of who's in control, but also the candles and what's within the candles here. In fact, I want to do a small video on that. Derek, no, we're reading the order flow pretty well here, I think. Yeah, I mean it's going to be kind of a challenging day, but we're still looking for this scenario of that gap, maybe potential gap fill, at least the test back up to 10 here. And it's looking good still. It just had to pull back. Now looking for the bid to really just hammer it here, or the buyers to come in and hit the offers up into these areas here. But I want to see the bid like support it. That's all. And this is, again, it's looking great. Looking for it here. And think about it now. This is what we look for. Where might there be fuel to make this move happen? And it would be these guys down here, the sellers down here. They'll be buyers up and through here. And this is where that MBO data comes in to confirm a lot of that. You'll see it, right? Yeah, see how we just we just didn't quite get the bid here, like we were saying. And this is what happens. They can fill these areas in a lot easier. Okay, we're still trending though, still looking for it, still looking for 10. Bid is much better now, guys. Watch, let's see if we get our move now, right? Looking for it now. Now they pulled. Another rotation. Yeah, this well, we didn't get the buyers up here. I know that's some hindsight. We were looking for the buyers to come in right now up here. Another rotation. Still looking for it. Another rotation. We got to get buyers up above 06 though. For this scenario to play out, we got to get above this 06.5 here. This is where we want to see the buyers, right? Else it's these guys now are the fuel for a potential move down back into the figure, basically. Oh, I like it though. I like this. If we can get buyers up here above this kind of 06.5. That's a lot of selling. Boy, that'd be great to see. Let's see it. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, this ought to be enough fuel, guys. So looking for the move 08, 10. And this might be enough fuel to fill the gap too. We were looking at 41.20 yesterday quite a bit. Okay, so yeah, I think we got enough fuel here for a move. So let's watch the bid in here. Okay, look at the offer. This is not what we want to see. And the bid is not supporting it still. Not really. 05.5 a little bit. Here we go. Okay, they're going to pull. All right, buyers, let's see it. Let's see the move here. We got it. I think we got it. Look at that offer, still fighting it. There's our stop run here, okay, up in this area here. Still getting buyers up here, but there's still a battle. They are supporting it higher. This is good. They're supporting it more. There's our 10. Okay, so I'd love to see a gap fill here. I think we got enough momentum, enough fuel here, guys, for the gap fill. Let's jump back. Let's take a look here at the candlestick. We're looking for the move back up into here, right? Let's just call it 17. Okay, it may come up higher. Actually, the gap started here at 22. Oh, thanks, Derek. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll tell you, reading the order flow here, and I think the key, what I've been just slapped around, you know, we've all been slapped around so many times by the market. The market rules. There's no question. The Hawaiian guy in here, Crypto Surfer, you know, the ocean rules. You don't mess with it. And if you play nicely, you know, it can reward you. The same here. So what we go through is scenarios. We read the order flow, and then what is more likely to happen if we read the order flow. So now what we're going through in these webinars is kind of pure order flow read. And it can apply to any trading strategy. That's the beauty here. So, you know, let's go, we'll look at candles. You know, we have been looking at candles. We looked at this candle here, and we knew it was strong. Okay, just because it was big doesn't mean it's strong. We want to see the volume within it. We want to see the bid support it. Now, the bid did support it here. Okay, we were looking for it under here to support it, and it is now. See underneath here at 10. So we're still looking for this move here to unfold. All right. Now, the more objective we are with reading this, then, you know, the more likely these moves can unfold. And that's really the key. But we got to go through the scenarios and understand, you know, who's in control and where there might be fuel, you know, what's the reaction to liquidity here on the bid? Did we find buyers? Yeah, here, right? Okay, and then we got higher. There's buyers in here. Yeah, you can see that sellers are taking them on. So we got up to about 15. That's been it so far. And look at the sellers retesting back down here now. Okay, now we got to go through another scenario here. Maybe we don't, this is it for the gap fill, right? We'll go through a couple different scenarios here. A lot of times when we see these kinds of moves unfold, if the sellers can blaze through this area on high volume down here, because this is where we're looking for support, right? And we don't see a whole lot of support here. There's some here at this kind of top of that wick, remember? 07 and a half or so, that wick in here, right? And they're supporting it on the bid. But a lot of times we'll see these kinds of moves. We would anticipate a bounce here because this is where the buyers came in and they're still in control, right? From this area onward, just like we did earlier. Okay, we created that rectangle, right? So we would be looking for support here. Now, a lot of times what happens is, and we go through this scenario, is they'll come down into this area here, retest this area, the market retests it here, and there's just a lack of support and just tons of sellers here. Then all of these guys are on the hook, and we just blaze through it right away, and you'll see the big down red candle to the downside here. Okay, that's not happening. We're back up here at 15. And look at the buying up here. Nothing to speak of. Right? So not looking for the breakout yet. Let's see here. Yeah, large buying tail forming on the hourly chart. Yep, nice. Well, Rogue Angel, this is not a trading room. It's an order flow reading room. And then we do anticipate, or we give insight to where price might move next based on the order flow reading. Okay, we've been pretty consistent with that. Yeah, we were talking about looking for price moving higher there, for sure. I mean, we're pretty clear about that, I think. You guys weren't clear on that? Yeah, we were bullish, for we covered it. Just maybe go back and look at the recording. We went through the whole process here. Oh, no problem. This is your second day here. No problem. In fact, let me show you here. And I'll get to the Discord questions here too. But I'll show you here the if you're new, how to maybe kind of what we suggest to go through here. Go to bookmap.com, click on the More button, and go to the educational section here. All right, and then you can go through. We have it all nicely kind of laid out for you. Getting started, Bookmap Basics. I would highly recommend that you watch at least parts 1 and 2 of the educational course. Parts 3 and parts 4 are based off of it's all sequential. It's all based. Part 1 is the basic market mechanics. You have to understand this, and it is the basis for everything. It's how price moves. And it's all based on the orders in the market, and therefore the order flow. Okay, it's the participants in the market. This was, yeah, we were kind of looking for a fade up here. Now you can see the buying coming in, so it looks like we're going to get our gap fill on up to 18 and 20 here, full gap fill. The buying is just still strong, right? So we're still looking for it here. Look at the bid and the reaction to that bid. Okay, that's actually found some selling. Still looking for it though. There's just buying pressure in here, guys. So still looking for it to move higher. Okay, bid underneath here. These guys are being stubborn at 18. They're about to get run over, I think. They'll likely pull. Well, it filled it anyway. So there it is. And anyone that trades gaps, they're going to be taking their profits here. Here we go. See they're starting to pull when the price comes up there. Yeah, here comes our battle here. This is that gap fill in the battle, I think. It still looks like price wants to come up into 20 here. But anyway. Okay, we're up to 18. Did they stay in the book? Yeah, they stayed. So they're getting what they want. They're starting to maybe shorts are starting to position themselves here. There's our flip. Looking for 20 still. It's already there basically. All right, there we go. All right, so now let's take a step back here. Okay, this was kind of exactly the scenario we were looking for, and there's going to be a stop run. Let's take a look here. All right, so we were reading this candle down here, and we're looking for, well, it was down in this point here, right? So here, 1010, or this is 1030, this candle here. So we were looking to see, and we saw that there were sellers in here. We were reading this candle here, and we talked about if we can get buyers back up above the figure here, because this is where we want to see, you know, the buyers start to come in right around, you know, 4100, and if they can, then we're looking for the first move to be up to this wick here, and we would anticipate a pullback. And then we're looking for the next wick up here at 10. And then we went through a couple different scenarios here. Now, this is just from the order flow reading that we need to read it when we get up here. But the couple of different scenarios is we would anticipate another pullback at 10, and then maybe a re-attack here, and then back up and fill the gap. Okay, so up in here, though, it is the next order flow reading that we might not get that pullback. We might just see tons of buying here, and they're just going to, buyers just have so much pressure. They're going to, the next area would be the gap fill. Okay, now we're above the gap, right? So now where would you guys think we're going to start to see sellers on this chart here? How do market mechanics work in the market, in my opinion? I just watch that video, part 1 of the educational course. It goes through it in detail. Okay, so let's see, McLoco, you're saying about 30. Yeah, looks pretty good. I would say these wicks here would be kind of the first little area here where we're going to see some sellers. Okay, so you know, and it's not precise, but you know, there was selling here, the buyers came back up, and then there was more selling in here. So it's this little range in here, maybe between 26 to 28 and a quarter. Now we know that also up in here, this is kind of an nothing's really so precise, but we just know that there's sellers up here also. Like look at the selling in here. Buyers couldn't get above it. Also the red candle here, so around 29 and a half. But then the ultimate one is up here at 31 and a quarter. Okay, so somewhere in this range in here is where we'd be anticipating sellers. Well, we already got them there. Look at the candle. Okay, so these are really good areas to consider legging out of a position or taking profit and even potentially reversing and trading it back into the range here. Okay, now what we want to understand though up here is the order flow. Okay, so let's take a look here. We look at that strong move into and above 20. Yikes, that's some pretty strong buying. And now we see some pretty strong selling though too. Okay, look at from this point onward here, right? And this is where you would end, like we were saying, we're anticipating there to be some sellers up here, or at least profit taking. Okay, well, this is what we got here. So we got our strong move. They're supporting it underneath here on the bid. We'd be looking for high liquidity to trade and transact up in here. Didn't really get that. In fact, they opened up here. And then strong buying in here, strong buying, starting to wane a little bit, but it's still more buying. Okay, stop run. Strong buying here, and then starting to wane a little bit up here. Okay, so and a little bit of selling here. Now the difference in this here, we've seen this many times, and sometimes we look for the sellers in here to be on the hook if we can get buyers back up here at 26.5. Okay, if we don't get buyers up here at 26.5, and we don't, you can see it exhausting out here and here. Now we're looking to see if we can get sellers in this area in here. Okay, and then we'd be looking for the move back down into some of these swings, like here. Okay, this would be a good area. Also, this would be a good area, and then also where it broke out from in 20. Okay, so we'd be looking for that. Now, be honest, the order flow reading in here is not so clear, or it's not as good as what we'd be looking for. What we, we see selling in here, that's good. We see exhaustion here, that's good. Do we get a lot of sellers back here again? No. Okay, but we did make a lower high here, and now we're starting to see the sellers come in here, and we also see the offer light up here. Okay, but they're on the bid here too, supporting it. So not the easiest read in here. Okay, but nice cluster of selling. Okay, now if we get back here again and we see our selling, and I can just see it kind of eking in here, now we're looking for the move. Okay, and we're looking for the move back down into here and then here at 20. Okay, right, now this is based off of what we read in the candle. Yeah, McLoco, I mean, you can kind of see, like, what we're talking about here is it's a range. This is not precision. It's probabilities, and it's based on, the actions of other traders. So we don't know what those actions are going to be, but we can kind of get a feel for it, and we can read their actions. That's really the key here, is we can read their actions, and then we can start to look for these pressures in the market to either follow through or fail. And that's why we go through the different scenarios. Thanks, Dark Trader. Yeah, 32. Yeah, I mean, you guys are looking at, we just went through it in detail, Carol and Mr. 123. It's kind of a range. It's not precise like that. The markets just aren't like that. This is not a mathematical equation. It's based on the actions of the flow of actions of other traders. All right. So where does that leave us here? Boy, we tested back down into here at 16. So even through that 20 level. 16 makes sense, right here, or 15 makes pretty good sense. It's the same things we're looking for in terms of structure. All right, let's take a look at the 15-minute candle here. Okay, well, it closed on the green, but there's pretty big wicks on both sides here. All right, so it's not really telling us much. Let's look at the current market though. Okay, what is it telling us here? Okay, well, what is this candle telling us here? There's a wick here. All right, so it tested up here. Let's see if we get sellers here to try to maybe test down here to 13. Okay, we're getting sellers, but they're kind of on the bid here. Here we go. Let's see the offer. What's the reaction to it? well, we kind of found buyers. Okay, so yeah, I'm not getting much out of this at all right now. See, buyers even wanted that. They showed liquidity in here, and buyers wanted it. Okay, so maybe we can get back up to 20 again. Okay, nothing high probability in here, but you know, a potential move here. Here's our retest and no buying. Right, buyers up to the top of this range. Here's the retest, no buying up here, very little. So no, we're not looking for it right now. In fact, now we're getting our sellers, and then we're looking for our 15. Bottom of the range. There we go. There's 15. Okay. Still more selling, but maybe retest back here to 17 or so. All right, let's see here. I'm not really sure what to cover right now, and there's not a whole lot going on here, but we've been kind of on talking about candlesticks, so maybe we can continue on with the discussion there. Let's see, a few more questions. Sheepdog. Okay, the actions of the traders is what we're reading, Sheepdog. Up, down, sideways. Well, we're reading it, right? Right now, it's looking, pretty sideways in here, right? I mean, I don't know how else I can tell you. Like, we read the order flow, and then we gave insight to where price might move, and it did. But it's based on what we're reading from the actions of other traders in these scenarios. So there's a disconnect here somehow. I'm not connecting, right? So how does this help us? Probability, perhaps. I'm not trying to attack you whatsoever here. I'm trying to get at, like, I'm disconnecting somehow. Like, how can we get the message across here? We're reading the actions, and then we looking who might be in control, and then for them to press it. So see the sellers coming in now. We didn't know that back in here. It was back and forth. There's buyers here. There's sellers here. The reading in here is it's just buyers and sellers back and forth. Look at sellers come in here and sellers come in here, right? This is where they are in control. Right, so they are moving the market, and they're able to explore price lower now. So we got down to 13. Let's see if they can get down to 10 and to 9. Okay, now we got to go through the different scenarios though. So these are the actions of these sellers in here. We know some are stops, okay, but where are these sellers going to be buyers? And this is where that's going to happen. Back up here at 14.5. These sellers will have to be buyers. So if we get buyers up here, then we're looking for the move back up to the top of the range, and then other ranges and high liquidity as well. Right? Those are the scenarios. Now here we go. Here's some exhaustion, and we got more sellers here. All right, let's look for more sellers here. And I want to see this offer light up, not the bid light up here. Okay. And then now here are sellers. Now we're looking for them to try to explore down to 10 and to 9 here. Right. So let's see if we get our sellers here. And we want to see the offer come in a little bit here. Okay. What's the reaction to that? Our sellers. So we know the sellers are still in control. So we're looking for them to press it down into some of these areas here. Right. That would be the order flow read. Yeah, I'm trying to. I understand. You're trying to wrap your head around these things, but I'm defining the actions here. What is the action? What are the actions here? And this is what we know. Okay, so now we have to be really careful in some of these areas here. This is when we want to see sellers firmly take control, right? And then retest back up in here. There are no buyers up here. Okay, so then we're looking for them to retest back down here and then continue. Right now, this is not firmly in control. It's like, yeah, they're in control. But all of a sudden we might get mounting attack here by a lot of buyers up here, right up here at 14.5, and then that's when the reading flips and changes. Okay, so let's see if I'm still looking for sellers here. Okay, but I'm open to that scenario in that change and that flip here, because like all these sellers then they become buyers back up above here. See how it comes up here and the market tests this area. Are there buyers? Is there interest? Okay, now I'm looking again here for sellers, and look at the bid here. We found some sellers. Now do we get below? Yes. So looking for 11, looking for this liquidity here, then 10, and then 9. Okay, that's by reading the test up here and the pull away from it, and then we found this little test in here, and we found sellers in here. Okay, so let's see them hit the bid here. Trepidity. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, looking at the structure, absolutely. Now we're looking at these small scales here, but that doesn't matter. We can look at higher time frames. The structure is still the same. These markets are they're fractal. What happens on the small time frame is very similar to what's happening on the higher time frame. They're just variations of it. In a very small scale, then you zoom out. Yes, context. Yeah. I think watching that parts 1 and 2 will be very helpful of that education. And it's evergreen content. It's an older version of Bookmap, but it's evergreen content, so it still applies. Yes, yeah, trepidity. Yeah, you got it. And it always sounds I feel it always sounds a cop out to say like, oh, it's about the context, but it truly is. Yeah, continue coming here, and I think really, Sheepdog, clear your mind of any previous education that you had, especially when watching parts 1 and 2 of that educational course. Just forget about everything else, really. Forget about volume profile, forget about candles, forget about patterns, anything. Just it won't help you. It's a distraction. And then once you start to understand market mechanics and order flow, what makes the market move, then you can start to look at your candles. Then you can start, all of that previous education can start to come back into the picture. Yeah, excellent, Tripedity. Yeah, it took you a while to realize Bookmap isn't an indicator. Absolutely. I love it. And yeah, we've all been trained to look at indicators to tell us what to do, or how to react, etc. Looking for a signal, trying to wrap our heads around something, and that's what's so alluring of indicators. Oh, they give a clear signal, and then we can try to base something upon clarity in a signal, and it just doesn't work like that. I mean, yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But order flow in, well, yeah, I think the order flow is where that edge lies. Looking for the orders in this context, and then you have more likelihood for the move to play out. Thanks, Trupidity. Yeah, yeah. We're getting there. And yeah, should. I don't know. You might have been the one that hated that I said the market should do this or should do that. More likely is a better phrasing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like more likely right now. Now, I want to see the bid or the offer light up here, but see the selling in here and see the exhaustion here. It's more likely to trade into 10 and then 9. There's 10. Okay. And I know we're right here at 11, but we're looking for that move to play out. Right? Based on this in here. Now, we just want to see more on the offer here, and we want to see the reaction to that offer here be sellers. Okay, see if we don't get that in here, like on the offer, see how the buyers can whip it right back up. Okay, now they can get these guys on the hook, and we should get a stop run, and then we'd be looking for up here 15, 14 and a half, right? More likely to play out, more likely to hit the stops above this little swing here. Okay, back up into 15. Okay, upending all of the sellers in here. It was more likely to go into 10 and then 9 here. Now this is where the see the pivot here. It's kind of here, but it's really here, to be honest. See the sellers here, and they're like, uh-oh, pressure, buying pressure, stops. Here, stops here. You should be able to see the exhaustion pretty well, AVP, on the Thinkorswim Bookmap. It's pretty simple stuff. So all we did was get above these two little swings here. That was it. So sellers still, okay, so sellers still in control, right? From this little point here. Now, and we mentioned this earlier, it wasn't the greatest control, right? It just wasn't. It's not as clear as some of these other moves in here, where we saw buyers in control. Okay, it's just, even if we zoom out in hindsight here, it's just not as much, it's not firmly in control. Okay, whereas like look at this move in here in that buying, firmly in control, moving that market away from previous areas here. Okay, sellers here in control, upended here, retest back to where they upended them, back again here, buyers taking control, moving it up into these areas here. Okay, so here, little area where sellers took control, and they still remain in control. okay, 1450. Okay, so all we did was spike above this little area here, and we did hit some stops. And now we're back to 09. Okay, yeah, I know. This is hindsight, of course. But we were looking for the move back up. First, we were looking for the move back down. Upended, looking for the move back up into here and then here. And we didn't get up to here. Right? It just stop ran above here, and then again, buyers, sellers below it, and then here. Look at the selling cluster here. See how they can move the market now back down to 09. Okay, the market can move down there. So now here again, these now sellers disrupted. Watch the move into 15 now. I'm looking for it. Looking for the move up into 15. Right? Because they got these guys on the hook and looking for a stop run, looking for this to spike. Okay, and looking for this 15 here. Okay, now again, it's not as high probability with the bid. I want to see the support on the bid. Okay, else we can go to back and forth stuff here. Okay, now trading considerations. How do you get involved in something like this? Okay, well, start to look for pullbacks to areas here. Okay, I really like this one here. I do not like seeing the bid or the offer, I'm sorry, here spiked, but like I can't explain it fast enough. What I liked about this here was the move back down and the move back up. A lot of time we were looking for it in here, right? And then one more move, one more test down here, but we're back up here and we're above these guys here. Look at the retest here. This is no different on the smaller time frame. It retested right back to these guys here. Just would love to see the bid support it. Okay, but we're looking for the move up into that 15, and now we got it. We finally got it. Okay, and that will be a stop run, and it is. Now, you know, look, this is where I think for Sheepdog and others it might be kind of confusing. Is we're really going in here and looking at some of these nuanced areas and reading the order flow. And I can appreciate that. I just want to cover as much as I can here, because when you're zoomed out and you're looking at your time frame, your trading time frame, you're going to see the same things. Okay, so you know, you can see this failed up here, the breakout. So a test back down here, and then let's see it break down further. Boy, that's kind of asking a lot. But I think the breakdown to about 07.5, which was what? This top here, right? Okay, so this is looking for the test back down to here. We have a swing here as well. Okay, so it's a zone again. Okay, and here comes our test. Okay, and we're looking for the same thing in the order flow here. Okay, this failed up here. Okay, and it's back here. Look at the sellers come in here. Just looking for the move back down to here for now. And now let's just take a step back and look at our higher time frame again. Okay, I'm just, even on this chart here on the 15-minute chart, just looking for this. That's it for right now. I'm not looking for more. In fact, maybe you know, the buyers in this 15-minute candlestick chart, they're in control here, and this is just a pullback. So this actually might be a good area, even not only for it to test, but you can start to look for maybe a potential long back up into the range. And where would you, on this chart, where would you start to look for sellers? Where would you start to maybe consider legging out? What do you guys think? Well, I'm going to have to, maybe one of you guys might be interested in becoming a moderator in here. uh, in uh, in YouTube. We just get these spammers in here. All right, so let me get back and answer the question here. Yeah, you guys are on it. Well, yeah, well, the 10 area is good. Absolutely. You're right on it, Mick Loco. But based on this chart in here, yeah, 10 is good. And that's going to fit up. And now you can even see, because we're looking at these areas here, you can kind of piece it together. Even you don't even need to look at volume profile. You can kind of understand the profile. That's a good area to test. However, I'm looking for it up here. Back up into here, 114.50. That swing, and then maybe back up into here. Those would be the first areas, or it'd be a zone up into here. Maybe around our 118 level here to the swing high 20, something around there. Looking for buyers to come back in. Okay, so this was strong move up into here. We're looking for a pullback. We know there's sellers up here, looking for the move back. Now pull back here, retested these swings, looking for buyers to come back in and retest back up to here first, and then to here second. Okay, so first let's call it 115, second 120. All right, top of the wicks, exactly. Yep, I'm so bad. 120 is nice. I think it's kind of a range in here, but that's been my experience, that we know there's sellers around in here, and we just don't know. Again, it's not mathematical. We just know there's sellers in this area in here. We also know up at the top of the range here. Okay, now let's take a look at Bookmap. Okay, so we already tested this 115, and we found buyers up here. Okay, so if we can get back up here now, looking for buyers. Okay, here they are. The bid looks pretty decent. I think we can trade up to 114. Okay, and so I would get in here, and I'd be looking for the move up into here. Okay, and I'm looking also, this is kind of, now we're getting into trading styles though, right? If I get in here, I'm looking for this to work now because I'm reading the order flow, right? There's our move. Okay, let's still going with it. Look at the bid. This is great. Finding buyers, great. So let's see them try to get up to 116 now. Okay, so let's suppose you were in here, somewhere in here. Not a great entry, right? I'm looking for it to work now. Look at the bid. This is great. 116, still looking for 116. Our 17 to 20, God, what was it? 17 to 20, yeah, something like that. Okay, so now this is not a scalp, right? This is a little bit higher time frame. We're reading the order flow within this time frame. Okay, there's our 17 already traded. Now, I would take some off up here, and that would be my style. You don't have to. It's up to you. It's up to your trading style. Trade management is a whole nother subject, right? And that's why we kind of like, we'll talk about it. We can talk about it in detail if you guys want, but it's not really the thrust of these webinars. It's about reading order flow. It's about looking for a higher probability, gaining an edge via the order flow. Okay, so took some off. Oh, look, you look like a genius up here, but we had a reason for it. just because, and maybe you even kick yourself because like, oh, why did I get out? Because it's maybe it'll trade up into 19 and 20 here, right? That was our second area here. So, and you just kick yourself, you lost 3 points, or you could have gained 3 more points. But we don't know, and we know it's a zone. So, you know, I'm looking for just kind of this zone here. Okay, and then I'm still in it. Okay, and just, you know, waiting and watching here for this to play out. All right, let me get to YouTube questions here. Will Bookmap show you if an auction completes? Yeah, sure. You know, you look for that finished edge, you know, and exhaustion. Like the auction does not complete up here, right? It was not complete up here either. It's also really not complete here either. I mean, because you've seen transactions. What you want to see is that nice finished edge here where it explored an area and it just didn't find any more sellers, and then it starts to move back up into the range. That's how you get your volume distributions. Okay, like the your classic bell-shaped curve. Okay, where's my pen? Okay, so you know you get this kind of, right, and this would be your finished edge, in your finished edge here. You guys know all this. See how it's just not complete up here. Strong, strong, still looking for it to auction. Strong selling. Okay, this is it. It's actually, you know, that's why up in these areas in here, we want to really understand kind of the tops of these areas in here. Yeah, it's still auctioned up here. So this is just a, you know, a pullback. Okay, and then let's see if we can auction back up here again. So there's some exhaustion there. Okay, now the exhaustion needs to be followed by buying up here. See how sellers come back in again? Okay, now let's see if we can get it back up in there, and we cannot. We cannot. Right back down to where this all initiated in here. This is going to be a nice stop run. Iceberg's on the other side though. Okay, so anyway, guys, this is kind of, you know, part of the reason I like volume profile very much, but some of these concepts in here, like, is it finished edge? It's not really. It's still auctioned up here, so it can come back here. But look what happened, right? That's where I just like looking at these kinds of things, buying and selling pressure, and moving the market again, market mechanics kind of, but on a higher time frame. Okay, here come our buyers back in again. Now we want to see them get back up above this selling in here, and a retest back here to like 112, 41.12. All All right, let me get into POC VWAP, Johnny. Yeah, we look at it here. Tom B starts just about now in his webinar, and he'll go through volume profile in detail. Okay. The heat map is the heat map, scalping trader. It's just showing you liquidity. That's it. So candlesticks is it is a derivative of price action. Okay, that's kind of actually the beauty of Bookmap as a platform, is it's just pure data here. It just visualized in a very nice way for you to understand the trading. Okay, the dots here, the trading activity, and then the other side of the trade, the liquidity. Where are the buyers and sellers in the auction? And then, the back and forth action here creates the market structure. Okay, so again, like, let's see if we can get buyers back up here again. I don't like it here. It's not looking probable here because of the lack of bid here. Okay. However, we got to read the aggressors, because they're the ones that can move price. All right, let's see. Looking for the aggressors here, up here, and then want to see that bid light up. Watch these guys pull at 12, and then we'll get a move up into 14. Okay, bid is starting to show a little bit more. Okay, you got sellers on the hook. If we can get just a little bit above them and then squeeze them, there we go. Let's see it. Got them on the ropes there. We should get a stop run and a move into 14. Kind of looking for that. There we go. There we go. Okay. So again, just reading this kind of activity and then knowing that these guys have to they're selling in here, but we get above them, looking for the squeeze. Okay, and then this would be a scalp. This would be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm just looking for that up into here. Okay, but again, this will be on the monthly chart. You'll see it on the daily chart. I hope I answered your question there. We got to kind of wrap it up here pretty quick, but I'm going to answer you guys' questions. Let's see. Okay, Derek. Yeah, love your higher time frame strategy. Excellent. Date stocks, never marry them. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, the order flow flips, and then you got to flip too. Absolutely. Or at least that's how I feel. How do you put candles on the chart? That's really simple. You'll see it under here, and then candlesticks. It's actually, to be honest, it's here under studies configuration, and then you'll see candlesticks here. And then if you click on this text here as well, you'll get the different settings in here for it. Okay, so guys, look, I was just looking at getting out up here. It went a lot higher. Well, it went up into 17. Okay, and now, but I was out here. I was just looking for this. Okay, and then let's take a look at our bigger picture, though. Wow, buying pressure. Now we're back up here. Okay, so now it's more likely to trade into 41.20. Okay, maybe back up into this area of sellers. Okay, 24 to 27 or so. right? Look at the buying pressure here. Now let's add that to Bookmap. Okay, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not convinced yet that this move is going to unfold yet, but we do have buyers up here, right? We did mention that the auction up here, like even though this hard sell-off here, that it did auction up here. I don't know how much value you want to put into that, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to avoid that one. I'll let Tom. He's the expert there. He can discuss that. Okay. Still auctioning up here, so still looking. Well, I'm not going to cover that. Looking for this to continue, just not too convinced of it right now. Okay, so still kind of looking for. We know there's sellers up here, but we see a lot of buying pressure. So we're looking for testing that up here. Looking at Bookmap here. Here's that wall of liquidity here, but we're still finding buyers. Okay, and they're on the bid, but they're down here though, so I don't really like it that much. We can whip down here, whip down here, whip down to here, and then come back up and reattack this area here. All right, so there again is another kind of order flow reading that it may do it. Is, you know, it's just not as likely because we just don't see as much support in here by the traders and the orders here. They're telling us their intent with their orders. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. I think I answered most of your questions. How do you get the heat map on the chart? That should be by default. Should be there. So if not, you can see it under here again, heat map. And then under here, under studies configuration, you'll see heat map. You click on that, and you'll see it here. All the different settings. You also see it up here. Maybe you have this window down. Okay, there's a dimmer in this 7.3 version of Bookmap. All right, guys. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming. We'll wrap it up. And call it a day here. Yep, excellent questions, and hope that was helpful for you guys. Let's see, I'll be back tomorrow morning, but only for about 10 or 15 minutes at 10 a.m. and then JTrader comes in, so we'll kind of recap maybe the S&P or the futures or whatever you guys want to look at. We'll cover any market in here on these webinars, but JTrader comes in then, and he's going to go through stocks. Okay, he's a stocks trader. He goes through stocks. So we'll look at Bookmap in terms of stocks, and then take it from there. Okay, Trepidity, I'll get to your question there, but I'll have to do it in chat. We gotta run. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. Okay? Yep. Take care.